Welcome to the Orange Flag Podcast. Can an IndyCar ever have a permanent round in the Northeast? But first, a new twist on a familiar name in sports cars. I'm Austin.
I'm Aries.
I'm Nicole. Not an ad, but kind of. Dylan Estre is going to be doing Carrera Cup France this upcoming season, according to Kevin's Instagram story, and he needs sponsors. We have offered a really, really small sponsorship that's like barely even a sponsorship, but we think that everybody else should join us in sponsoring Dylan because Kevin said he thinks Dylan's faster than him in a cup car. So let's just see what Dylan can do, because I don't know, I think that's saying something.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say we. I make the joke that Dylan is the better Estre, so it's only fitting.
Kevin literally said in a Carrera Cup car he thinks Dylan could beat him, like, right now, so...
Exactly. So...
I think that means this kid deserves sponsors.
I think it does.
People, go, I don't know, DM Kevin and say you want to sponsor Dylan, because I'm pretty sure that's what the story said.
It is, in fact, what it said. So...
Yeah, you should all, give your contribution, whether it's a coin or half of your lifetime savings. So, yes, it's an investment, so please get on that. Cue the
yes.
stonks meme.
Yes, we're all going to invest in Dylan really early in his sports car career.
Yes.
Invest in Dylan.
Dylan today.
I feel like that's going to be the title of the episode. Invest in Dylan Estre.
Now, you know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm picturing in my mind? This huge life-size poster of Kevin going, I want you to invest in Dylan.
Okay, but why do I want to make that now?
Do it.
You absolutely need to make that. Just slap Kevin's face on Uncle Sam. Which I'm sure Kevin will hate. I
was gonna say, Kevin, sorry, not sorry that you're becoming part of American propaganda for this, but, like, it's Aries' fault.
It is Aries' fault, but I love the idea.
The fun bit, it's American propaganda. I'm not even from the USA, so live with that.
Yeah. There's a loophole in there somewhere, somehow, some way.
It's French colors, because as Kevin thinks, we stole France's colors.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure our flag in, our colors existed prior to France's current flag. But we won't get in that argument now, Kevin. Flagman, am I right?
I knew this was coming my way.
I was about to say, we did put out the Get to Know Podcasters today, and you did put your thing as flag making. So
yes.
So Flagman, am I right?
I mean, my mind regarding flag history is a bit fuzzy, but if I'm not mistaken, what started out as you guys, the Stars and Stripes, came first. But I could be making something up.
I trust your flag history a lot more than the guy that drives race cars' flag history. Because you, pride yourself on flags.
Yeah.
I
have never seen flag making or flags as a fun fact on a Get to Know Kevin thing. It's on your Get to Know Me. Hopefully Kevin isn't, too mad at us for opening up the episode by just dunking on him, because I'm upset with him, because he's once again not doing Bathurst. Yeah. So go Lauren Heinrich in EBM. Lauren knows his place in my PPM driver rankings. It's okay. But yeah, I'm a little upset that Kevin isn't doing Bathurst. Because I think it would be kind of nice to see him do that more than once in his entire career.
It
I
would.
mean, all I'm saying is last episode was dunking on Matt. It's only right that this episode's dunking on Kevin. Which PPM driver will we dunk on next episode?
And in here
That is
somewhere.
the question.
There's
So-
Lauren. Go, Lauren.
I don't have my cards, but go
I
Matt.
have all my
'cause
cards.
It is
He's
his
here
race.
somewhere. There he is, Matt.
Yeah, it's his race.
There's Kevin.
So,
He's not relevant to Bathurst because he's not doing
not.
it. But yes.
I mean, this time it wasn't card did not arrive problems.
Yes, at least it was not that. It's just Kevin isn't doing it. It's not Kevin's doing it and his car didn't make it to Australia.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Last
deep
time
Kevin
it
lore
was-
there. Yes.
Last time it was the card didn't show up.
It was the car didn't show up. But Kevin, can you do Bathurst at some point, please? Thank you.
We know my opinions on it. Everyone should do Bathurst.
I really like Bathurst, so I would very much appreciate if Kevin did it. I really like that Lauren does it. So, like, extra points for Lauren in the tally.
We're gonna need to get you a whiteboard. It's gonna be Kevin on one side
Have a
and Lauren on
whiteboard
the
over
other.
here somewhere.
And
We are
then
going
maybe
to need
Larry-
to do-
And then maybe Larry at the bottom. And it's just who gets a tally for the
Here
day.
somewhere.
Yes.
Larry.
Who gets orange brownie points?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
orange brownie points.
Now I'm thinking of a cosmic brownie, but all of the sprinkles are orange.
Don't
That
make
would be
me
cool.
hungry.
Right?
And
Um,
now I want a cosmic brownie, which I don't know if it's Larry approved or not.
definitely not unless you are cycling. Which you can't do. But it's a great intro to our new segment that's going to go on for, like, I don't know, 6 weeks or however long we can keep finding drivers that are wannabe pro cyclists. Or, Larry took offense to that, so I guess he's like an actual pro cyclist. But option number 1 for find a cycling instructor for Austin is, in fact, Lawrence Vantor. Mostly because he's a friend of the show, so we think that there's, like, maybe a possibility he would agree to do this at Sebring. So, like, Larry, do you want to teach Austin how to ride a bike at Sebring?
Your competition is when I went to the Netherlands and they made me bike in the Netherlands, which already off the bat, bad idea. Don't make the first time you're biking in, like, years since you were a child in the Netherlands. A Croatian man, because I was on a tour with a Croatian guide, tried to teach me how to ride a bike for the bike portion of the tour. I did end up crashing into a bridge, and the bike got stuck in the bridge. So Larry, that is your competition.
I mean, may I tag along, please? Because, fun fact about me, I cannot ride a bike because I have no physical balance, no emotional balance, I have no balance in my life, so whoopee, I guess I am tagging along.
How many bicycles can I see from where I'm sitting right now? My hardtail mountain bike, my triathlon bike, and my normal road bike. 3. And then I know there's at least 2 more bikes in the other room over there. So I very much can ride a bike.
Okay, but, like, that whole thing about, like, everything's as easy as riding a bike, all I'm gonna say is I knew how to ride a bike. I rode my bike to school growing up. I then just didn't ride a bike for so long, and yeah, I did not remember how to ride a bike. Obviously, by our Netherlands story.
So maybe we should strike Renger van de Zand off the list, since you have, like, an issue with the Netherlands. Because he is on the list for the future.
He can stay on the list, but my lessons can't be in the countryside of the Netherlands where there's bridges and then cows. Because then our returning point was a farm and I did almost hit a cow.
Is Renger bringing you, like, home to teach you how to ride?
I don't know, but all I'm saying is the criteria is don't take me to the Netherlands countryside near bridges and cows.
Okay, so
And
Larry,
maybe we'll be more successful.
you have your criteria for teaching Austin how to ride a bike. Don't bring him to the Netherlands. Also, we're gonna have to find a bike rental place near Sebring, because I don't think that Larry's bike is going to be suitable for your biking lessons.
Yeah, I'll find one. I think I can actually rent one near here, so it's fine.
Fantastic. Just bring a bike to Sebring.
There's definitely a bike shop, like, right down the street.
We will find one of these drivers to teach you how to ride a bike at Sebring.
Okay. Well, moving away from my inability to ride a bike and roasting me in back to Bathurst and liveries, but really just one livery, because EBM, Earl Bamber Motorsport, did announce their livery.
Featuring Lauren Heinrich.
Sure. He can leave. He's not relevant to this story.
Yes, he is. He's driving for EBM. Go Lauren.
Sure. Did I know what the livery was beforehand? Because Earl told me at Daytona. Yes. Are we still going to talk about it? Also, yes. Because it's basically the 2019 winning livery again, except they got rid of the shiny silver parts. Sad. And in my brain, yes, it's still weird now, especially knowing the livery, being able to talk about it, that Matt Campbell is competing against the car that looks exactly like his 2019 car that he won Bathurst in.
I mean, it's not like we had something similar happen in Suzuka last year with the Pink Pig and some certain drivers racing against it. Just saying.
Yeah. I will say, at least this car isn't, like, exactly the same as 2019, because it doesn't have the shiny silver parts. But it's still, like, close enough where I'm like, him. It's also not just Matt, because Dennis is back again for Bathurst. Both of them are going to be driving around like, that's our 2019 car. And then also Earl is going to be driving around, because may I mind you that Earl is competing against his own team.
In the same class. It's not even like they're in separate classes. They are both pro class entries. The Corvette team that Earl is racing for and the Porsche team that Earl owns are racing directly against each other.
Which led me to a whole rabbit hole of things of, like, if EBM ends up on the podium. Last time Earl was on the podium, but Earl wasn't racing, so then in this situation, how does that work? I went down a whole rabbit hole.
What if
this.
Earl's Corvette and EBM are both on the podium? What does Earl do?
Yeah. He has to, like, one leg on this step and then one leg on
but it would
this
be way funnier if they were second and third.
That's what I was saying.
Because he's just gonna have to jump between the two.
So this could be the podium, okay? We have Matt in first, and then we'll put Lauren in second, and we'll put Earl in third, and then Earl has to do the splits.
I'm just saying, if history over the past 5 years of winners says who has the best chance of winning, it is not Matt Campbell, it is definitely Jules Gounon. I have him right here.
Enemy.
Yay, Andorra.
Three of the past 5 years, just saying.
Get Enemy out of here. We don't talk about Enemy.
He happened to be right under Lauren's card, so I had been waiting for that opportunity the whole time you were talking about Bathurst. You set it up so well with the podium thing.
There's a reason he wasn't on the podium thing. I don't want another Jules podium. So help me God. That is my personal hell.
It was just so there. I had to, because, you know,
I swear,
he's just
this episode is just roast and torture Austin.
I was gonna ask if for some reason the EBM car and Earl came to blows on the track. Does that qualify as a conflict of interest?
That was another thing I thought of like, what if Earl is in the Corvette and hits his own car? Like, how do you handle that situation? Like,
Oops, I
That's
guess.
a really good question.
how
It's-
does
Oh,
the
yeah, I
team
found Earl.
debrief? How does the team debrief go at the end? Is Earl part of the EBM team debrief? These are all
No.
questions I've had.
There is zero chance Earl has anything to do with EBM for anything Bathurst related.
Oh, yes.
Like,
but
he
I
can't.
just liked. Yes, I know, but I just liked thinking of all the hypothetical silly situations.
Definitely.
And one of them was if they crashed into each other.
Yeah. I think that was everybody's first thought, is like, what if they crash?
Yeah. You know. Then I got into the whole podium thought. There was a lot of rabbit holes, mainly because I was up at 3 a.m. and this is what my brain was thinking at 3 a.m.
Back
Oh,
to
don't-
the livery thing, though. It reminded me of what Lauren said at Daytona about it being so weird passing Rexy.
Yeah.
Like, he still doesn't think of himself like not driving Rexy, so it's weird for him to see Rexy. Like, I assume that's what it is like for anybody that sees a livery they've driven. But I don't know. I mean, this feels like a question we need to ask these guys. Like, ask Larry and Kevin about the Pink Pig at Suzuka. Ask Matt about this EBM livery.
Yeah.
Seems like good chatting points for Sebring.
Yes. Because it just, I get that like 2019 was like a hot minute ago, but like it's the first car you won in overall at Bathurst. I feel like it's not one you're gonna be forgetting.
I mean, 2018 was longer ago, but it was the car they won Le Mans in. I don't think it's one they're going to be forgetting. So,
like, they are all cars that, like, yeah, it's been a hot minute, but they are from, like, very important moments of their careers, and I'm like, I don't think you're forgetting those liveries.
yeah.
Especially talking to Dennis, because I got him to sign my jacket, and he literally looked at it and wanted to talk about how he was doing Bathurst again, because he was so excited about Bathurst. So I feel like that boy definitely would be thinking about that when it drives past.
Well, going on about EBM, this kind of segues nicely into what happened this past weekend because EBM were. It took me a while to realize that EBM were actually missing from the Asian Le Mans series, at least this past weekend or the past 2 weekends or something. I don't know, but they weren't there when I thought they were.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, it took me a while to realize.
I think we all just mentally were like, oh yeah, they are there.
Because like there were two at Sepang when in the season opener they were like, hey, there are two Aston Martins on the grid and now there's just one. And I was like, weren't there supposed to be two? Who was running the second? Oh yeah, it was EBM. So anyway, Asian Le Mans series time. It's finally finished.
Over.
This weird little schedule they have going on. I hope this changes for this year for purely selfish reasons. But yes, I hope they move away from the doubleheader format. But
it's brutal.
Yes.
For people that are on our side of the world,
yes.
The doubleheader is brutal. Like, I would rather it be every weekend for, a month and a half. And I get they can't because there's, like, other conflicts. Like, it would run into Daytona and it would run into Bathurst and stuff. But
yeah,
it is brutal losing both weekend nights.
I work I still work on Saturday morning, so it's not like I can't just say, yeah, I'm not gonna sleep. Like, screw sleep, I'm gonna watch this, and then the next day I'm just gonna be like a zombie there, kind of like, hey, good morning. So it's a no-no for me. But at least this weekend I could finally watch it live, because it started later than Sepang, but still.
Yeah, it was a little better.
Yeah.
Yep. Much better. Not so much though if we're talking about on-track action, because the second race, the final race, was very anticlimactic. Like, everybody was sort of expecting a big showdown coming into this weekend, and then it was all very meh. Because in all three classes, like, either people got the wrong strategy or got issues in qualifying, and then they were screwed up throughout the whole race.
Got
Or
penalties for being pushed off track by a car from another class and completely taken out of contention for the LMGT3
yes,
championship.
Yep.
yes,
Definitely happened to the number 10 car.
Yeah.
No, I'm
yeah.
not bitter about that at all.
Not at all.
For what? It doesn't sound like it. No, not at all.
That was the worst call I have seen from race control in any, like, honestly, any sports car series in the past 12 months.
Oh, hands down.
And I did feel
Like,
that felt weird.
it's just like, that is not how track limits violations are supposed to work. And I don't know. I don't want to go down the spiral of ranting about this for 20 minutes, so I will
Yeah.
not. Everybody probably knows how I feel, so I don't even need to say it.
It's very evident. I'm pretty sure everybody gets the vibe.
If you don't know, yeah, I feel like you're kind of getting the gist by the way we're like working around it.
I mean, I said it straight up. I just don't want to repeat it forever.
Something that seemed to repeat forever though was CrowdStrike by APR ending up on victory lane because
Yeah.
they did it again on the first race, and then obviously they won the title on the second race. So even though they didn't really come close to the podium, they were still champions either way. So yeah, we talked about them last week. If you didn't watch last week's episode, we did go on about this. So go back to that after you finish this one. But they're unstoppable. I guess the world is gonna fall to CrowdStrike. And Algarve Pro Racing people, I say this from time to time, usually at this time of year when they inevitably win the Asian Le Mans series. People are sleeping on them when it comes to what they're capable of, because I feel like if a manufacturer selected them as a service provider for a hypercar team, they would definitely deliver. They would definitely be up there.
I can only assume they do not want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me that a team that is this operationally good has not just turned down hypercar.
Especially with the fact that they have had hypercar drivers in those cars, like for Daytona, things like that. I mean, even for Asian Le Mans series, hypercar drivers are in that car. So I truly just think at this point it's just they don't want to, because if I was any team, they'd be like the first one I'd be looking at for that possibility. I also do think a lot of people forget that CrowdStrike is part of that too, because we just hear it called CrowdStrike, but they are part of
CrowdStrike
APR.
by APR.
Yeah. So like
that
they
is
are part
entirely
of
an APR team. CrowdStrike is just the title sponsor. It's like if we called Hertz Team Joda Hertz. Like,
exactly.
No, Joda is the operational team there. I guess less so now because it's a Cadillac factory team, but like when they were running the 963s, Joda was the operational team. APR is the operational team. Maybe if you're not quite as familiar with Asian Le Mans series or with the other things that APR do, that is a little bit of a way for you to understand it in WEC terms.
Yeah, but usually it's one of the 3 APR cars is dominating whatever series they're in. So
and then there's been just news left and right about what teams are going to be in the World Endurance Championship for 2027. maybe Honda will be there, but then Daily Sports Car and the Weekend Sports Cars podcast is saying maybe Honda won't be there. So, I mean, anything that Daily Sports Car puts out, I take as gospel. So if they're saying maybe Honda isn't coming to WEC, maybe Honda isn't coming to WEC. And then obviously just recently, like over the weekend and then today, this news about Alpine potentially leaving has really solidified. There have been rumors, there was the speculation with how like thrown together their lineup seemed, but it definitely sounds now like Alpine is planning on shutting everything down that isn't F1. So, I mean, I guess they must have seen what VAG did and thought that was a good idea for some reason. It wasn't. Alpine, don't copy VAG. They're stupid.
Nope.
Porsche, sorry, but they're stupid.
I will say, to me, it became more and more obvious that Alpine was going to be leaving sports cars eventually. I didn't think it was going to be like next year, like as recent, when they brought in the new higher ups that they have, and they made it pretty clear that like motorsports wasn't really the priority for them. And they were kind of going to dwindle down on it. So it always seemed like this was coming. It's just definitely a lot sooner than I thought it was coming to, and it seems more and more definitive. And then when it comes to Honda, I'll believe they're coming to WEC when I see it with my own two eyes, and there's a Honda or an Acura on the track of the first race, because they keep playing the game of we are, we aren't. So.
Yeah, I don't know what their angle in this we are, we aren't is. Like, it's not like the ACO is going to be like, no, we're not going to allow you into WEC. Like, if they want to join, they're going to be able to join. There's no reason to, like, do all this political posturing. It could be something internally back in Japan that they're doing all of this posturing for, but again, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, I would love to see more, so right now, we were doing really bad math this morning. Right now, if Alpine leaves and Honda doesn't join, we are at net +1 car for 2027 in WEC hypercar over what we had last year in 2025. That is not this amazing booming growth in hypercar that it seemed it was going to be midway through 2025 when multiple new teams were announcing that they were joining. So, literally having one extra car, and there's always these rumors, oh, well, when Kubica retires, the 83 is going away because that's only there from Orland money. If that happens, we're even. We have the exact same amount of cars in 2027 as we had in 2025, despite there being 3 new teams. Yeah. That's a problem. And for 2 of these teams, big teams, to be citing, teams that won races last year, to be citing financial problems, that is an issue that the ACO, that the FIA need to address. We may not have the runaway spending that was happening during the LMP1 era, but the spending appears to be unsustainable.
Yeah. I will say the only reason I ever thought, oh, maybe it is a little bit more likely that Honda comes to WEC was with MSR expanding to 2 cars and having one car that basically is a Honda car. It's backed more by Honda than by MSR in a way. They've kind of been upfront about that. So like seeing Honda having more of an involvement on the side of the IMSA team made me think, okay, maybe this is their way of getting the foot in the waters and then like expanding to WEC sort of deal, but even that doesn't seem likely now either. So
Yeah, the irony about all this is that this going on about spending, and these brands that we're talking about, they're all running LMDH cars, which is supposedly the cheaper
The
platform.
cheaper option. Yep.
yeah,
It's
but
ridiculous.
that it is. Something I do want to give like an applause to IMSA for is in this past week they to social media kind of posted a why we were under caution for 6 hours explanation of why they came to the decision that they came to, and like a deep dive into why they did that decision. And I thought it was really cool to see a series be so open about something like that and really wanting to explain in detail to fans about how they came to the decision that they did, because I can't think of a lot of other series that would be so open about something like that. So seeing that post that they did about the whole situation was really cool to see.
And the reasoning was something I hadn't even considered.
Yeah.
It was the fact that with how much moisture was in the air, there were concerns that if the engines were stopped, that there was going to be so much condensation in the engines that they were not going to be able to restart after such a long, because if they had red flagged it and said, hey, we know this is going to be a 6-hour red flag, like, yes, could the teams have periodically restarted the engines in the garage and like probably, but even that would have needed to be so heavily monitored. It's like at that point just keep them running, because you can't have PPM restarting the cars every 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Action Express next door to them is only restarting it every 30 minutes. Like, that's a significant difference both in engine wear and in how the parts are going to wear, like everything, how much condensation is going to build up. So it really, to me, I mean, I'm glad that they kept the cars going, because it meant stuff was still going on, because we were like physically there. But I can see how people at home were like, man, just red flag the race so I can go to sleep. But like, yeah, I mean, it was something that I didn't consider as a reason, like that basically it would destroy all the engines of the cars if they shut them off for 6 hours in the middle of the race in like 100% humidity, essentially.
Yeah, because basically that's what it was.
Yeah, when you have ground level fog, it's 100% humidity.
Yeah, but as somebody who likes like the technical side of things, it was just cool to also just like get a technical breakdown too of something that like you would never really think of in this very weird specific situation. So
Yeah, I guess we the I hope the people who kept on pestering everybody in the YouTube chat going like, why are they still running? I hope they got a chance to read it, because it was getting repetitive.
I can only imagine. But now, away from sports cars, into IndyCar, and for my rant, I talked about liveries already, so now we're sticking to liveries in IndyCar, and I'm just gonna say this, Arrow McLaren, I don't know how it's possible, but the cars are getting worse and worse.
There we go.
And
Arrow
worse.
McLaren hat. Bam.
And all I'm gonna say is this year, more than any other year, I thought last year the 5 and the 7 were gonna be impossible to tell apart, and they were. This year it's gonna be even worse. Who approved this? And all I'm gonna say is, I miss when the 7 had some white. I get we mainly did that for the 500, but like maybe we should do that for the full season, because one, it looks better, and then two, it's also easier to tell apart from the 5.
Yeah, it would be nice if there were 3 visually distinct liveries on the car.
Yes.
I get that they need to have the orange, it's the branding, but you can still run 3 visually distinct liveries with the orange. Like, it is a thing that you can do. And the black, the blue, and the white was a really nice and easy way to do it, even if the blue does look like Scott Dixon's car.
Yeah, but now you have
Just
the issue
saying.
of just 2 of the Arrow McLarens look exactly the same, because really the 7 is just a flip-flop of the 5. So, like,
Yeah.
use your noggins in livery design making over there, okay? Let's think it through. And,
livery design making over there.
Let's not do this again. I will just say overall this season, from the IndyCar liveries I've been seeing, not that exciting. They're all
Nick
kind
Kiffin
of meh.
Simpson's is fantastic.
His is like the only one.
It's fantastic.
If I'm being
And I
completely
do like
honest.
I like Alex Palou's more yellow and less red DHL one. That's kind of cool looking.
I don't know. It's still giving condiments to me. I don't know how to describe it other than condiments. It's giving mustard instead of ketchup.
Now whenever I watch an IndyCar race, something like that, yes, there goes the mustard car winning again, and not DHL, which is a delivery company.
No, it's
Right,
the mustard car.
I do. That's what I like about the to the DHL point, not the mustard. I felt like the way that the livery had been recently did not evoke the image of a DHL delivery van, right? Those are
Correct.
like completely freaking yellow and have the red words on them. And now I think this year's livery does. It feels like DHL, right? Like, as opposed to like a red and yellow car that's just red and yellow and says DHL on.
You mean ketchup and mustard?
I was
I'll say.
So if you it looks more like a delivery van. So if you receive your package via DHL and it's Alex Palou driving the van, consider yourself lucky.
Somebody needs to order a ton of mustard now, and Alex Palou needs to drive the delivery van. Okay, but all I'm gonna say is to this: as long as they bring back the Pride DHL livery, I'll be happy.
Yes.
It was the best one.
No, that is a really cool special livery they do.
Just saying.
Rainbow.
Sure, yes. All I know is Bitcoin car is also going to be a thing in IndyCar, and I'm not happy about it. But anyways, before I go on a rant about that, let's switch over to milk.
Got milk?
This is not related to ketchup and mustard, but it's still food, so here we go.
We're having a picnic on the podcast this week.
Agreed. I'm
the only
hungry
things
again.
so our picnic is cosmic brownies, but only with orange ketchup and mustard and milk.
This is a terrible picnic.
Agreed.
It is, but somehow I feel like Larry would make this picnic. I don't know.
He's gonna invade the picnic to lecture us on how we shouldn't be eating these things. Although, no, he would agree with some of the milk, because that thing he sent us did say chocolate milk is good for recovery. So after you're done with your bicycle lessons, you can have chocolate milk. Scott Dixon's milk is like low-fat chocolate or something?
So I looked at it, it's 1% chocolate milk.
Scott, why? Why is your milk 1% chocolate? Why?
Yeah, that also, like, defeats half of the purpose of chocolate milk for recovery.
Right? It's like the milk fat is a huge part of the recovery, but I don't know. Maybe it's because Scott is like almost as crazy as Larry. If you listen to like Scott ever talk about fitness and nutrition, Actually, I've decided this is a thing we need to do at Petite. We need to have like a, I don't know, joint interview with Larry and Scott in which they
Do it.
just yap at us about, like, well, I run this many miles. Well, I ride this many miles. Well, I can row 10,000 meters this fast. Well, I eat this. I want them to just go at each other with how much they do health and fitness wise, because they're both psychotic about it.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say though, at least for the rowing part, is from every video I've seen of every race car driver, none of them use proper rowing form, so I will yell at them. Your numbers don't matter to me if you aren't using correct form.
All I can say is I love how random this episode is getting.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Look,
Yes.
You mentioned rowing. I used to do competitive rowing.
I'm going
going to critique you about form.
Both of them frequently post about doing rowing as training, so I think that it's something I want to know how fast both of them can do that.
Yes, but back to milk. And not chocolate milk, so it's not recovery related, because it's strawberry milk, and I don't think that's recovery related, because I only ever drank chocolate milk for recovery. I don't know, I guess we can ask Elio, which, speaking of, they corrected all their wrongs of last year by not making Elio the strawberry milk. I think Elio was chocolate milk last year, actually.
Yeah.
And he is strawberry milk this year, so they at least got that correct.
Yes. And then obviously I wouldn't call it Northeast, but people from the rest of the country are saying that there's a Northeast race this year. I don't consider Washington, D.C. the Northeast. I'm from Boston. Washington, D.C. is not the Northeast. Literally was put there as the capital of the country because it's, in the South, as opposed to New York, which is the Northeast. So,
U.S. geography, everyone.
U.S. geography with Nicole, because it really bothers me when people are trying to refer to Washington, D.C. as the Northeast when it very much is not. Dad, you're welcome, because I know you like geography.
I'm just gonna say you can use the Mason-Dixon line. The only reason I ever say it's Northeast is because a bunch of other people say it's the Northeast, and I don't feel like getting into a damn argument with people. So, people down here in the South are like, anything above the Carolinas is the North, and I'm like,
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I don't care, so I just call it the Northeast because I don't feel like getting into an argument.
I'm just watching from a renamed Gulf and half a continent away, so I'm like, yeah, you guys solve your issues up there, I'm just watching.
Yeah, Aries is like, I do not care, and I, quite frankly, don't understand.
You know, I am in my own Northeast, so I'm satisfied with that.
You are.
Yes. Yeah.
But of the 4 places that people have suggested as, a long-term Northeast alternative for IndyCar, only 3 of them are actually in the Northeast, because Dover is not in the Northeast.
Who said Dover? I want to have a conversation with whoever thinks that is in the Northeast.
The same people that think Washington, D.C. is in the Northeast.
Yeah, so maybe
the rest of the country.
Yeah.
But New Hampshire, Pocono, and Watkins Glen are bona fide Northeast tracks. I also would like to suggest Lime Rock. Nobody said Lime Rock. Lime Rock is definitely also the Northeast. So those are great ideas for where we could slap some Indy cars permanently in the Northeast, because
Indy cars at Lime Rock. I am very intrigued. Someone make it happen.
I am intrigued. But
I just like Lime Rock.
It's
pretty close to my parents, so I can visit my parents and then also go to a race at Lime Rock.
I will say one of my favorite tracks is Watkins Glen. I love the Glen. So yeah, give me IndyCar at the Glen. I'll take it.
Realistically, it should probably be Pocono or New
Yeah.
Hampshire because they want more ovals or whatever. Not that Pocono's an oval, but New Hampshire is.
Yeah.
I mean, if people want to stick to a road course, I would have to. I did put in the notes Watkins Glen supremacy, but now like I said, I am intrigued about Lime Rock. But if it needs to be an oval, I guess I have to go with bring back the Pocono 500 because we need another big oval triangle on the calendar. So I feel like I know Fontana is no more, sadly, so we can't have
Yeah.
the Triple Crown again. Except we kind of can because we still have Michigan International Speedway over there. So maybe bring back another leg of the Triple Crown if you must. Give us some proper old school ovals again. It's not an oval; it's a triangle.
It is a triangle.
It is a
It's
triangle. I will also say another great opportunity for the NASCAR IndyCar crossover that they are doing too. So there
Sure.
you go. And
Yeah.
then
Sure.
also I will make the argument of let Connor in an IndyCar if it's Pocono. Just saying.
Isn't Pocono where, like, Hinchtown was for the whole Mayor of Hinchtown thing? Am I remembering that correctly?
Good question.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Pocono is where the whole Mayor of Hinchtown thing started.
I'm trying to think, and quite frankly,
Yeah.
my lack of sleep is
But
catching up on me, and I
someone
can't
correct
remember.
me if I'm wrong, but that right there is reason enough to bring back Pocono.
That, and it's a triangle. It's fun.
Oh, it is. It is fun. Again, like I said, I am a man who loves tradition, and the Pocono 500 is part of old time indie tradition. So I say, bring it back, please and thank you. Or if we're still going on about Northeast and whatnot, maybe we can do, if Indy really wanted to take a page out of the F1 book, they could maybe rehash the whole Port Imperial
right.
Street.
And
Oh yeah, your memory.
My listen to every episode ever of Hinch and Rossi has paid off. I was, in fact, correct that Hinchtown is at Pocono, so bring back Pocono. Sorry
Yes.
to interrupt you, Aries. Return to what you were saying.
No, I was just gonna say, turning the craziness up to 11. If Indy decided to take a page out of F1's unrealized projects book, they could just go over to what is it, New Jersey or something, and just rehash the Port Imperial Street Circuit proposal or something.
oh no.
Not that
I mean, we could go way back and find the Boston road course proposal and do that. My dad would love that.
Yeah, that almost happened. I forgot.
That did almost happen.
Yeah. All of these sound like a bad idea now.
No, they're terrible ideas.
Let's not.
Lots of fun, but terrible.
Yeah,
Give me-
no.
I just want Pocono back.
Yes, bring back Pocono.
Bring back the triangle. Okay.
Yay, geometry.
No. I hated geometry in school.
Now to a tiny, teeny little oval and
Oh,
the Clash.
That was literally, so I was watching the race with my dad. Every time it zoomed out, he was like, "Why is the track so small?" And I went, "I don't know, Dad. I didn't
It's
make
a
the
football
track."
stadium.
Yeah, but I was like, "I didn't make it. Why are you yelling at me?" So my whole time watching the Clash was my dad just being like, "Why is it so small?" And I was like, "Oh my god, we've watched the Clash. We've watched a race at this track before, but okay." But speaking of the Clash, things that happened. I've determined Connor Zilish might have made Mother Nature very unhappy, and he's cursed, because his first race in a hypercar was the 6 hours of caution for fog. His first cup race as a full-time driver was a snowy rain caution disaster race. So maybe CrowdStrike needs to lend the Sage Connor.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they do.
You know, maybe someone who has Sage to lend to Connor is Ryan Preece, because Ryan Preece went from, having bad history of cars flipping and no wins to finally getting a win, albeit he doesn't get any points for this win, so it doesn't really help him. But he does join a list of Jeff Gordon and Denny Hamlin to be drivers who won the Clash as their first win, which is a pretty good list.
Yeah, those guys have won a lot of races.
Yeah, so I feel like nobody was upset that Preece won this race.
No.
I feel like the biggest discussion around this was Ryan Preece using the F-bomb a lot in his interview afterwards.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people being like, why isn't that getting bleeped? And how is he not getting fined for this?
Because we were on some fake channel!
That, but then also, it's NASCAR.
Also, we were on a fake channel. If that was on Big Fox, it would have gotten bleeped. But
yeah, but also...
But yeah, what were we on? FS2?
Yes. But all I'm saying is the reason he didn't get fined is because it's NASCAR.
Yeah.
They have literally shown drivers running to other drivers like haulers to punch each other.
Yep. They are really going for that, aspect of the series. That no rules, and these are just guys doing guy things, which, you can feel about that however you want, but I do think it's funny that there were just uncensored F-bombs in the post-race.
I mean, was the most Ryan Preece thing, but I was also just like, to all the fans who were like, how is this being allowed? I was like, have you never watched a NASCAR race before? This isn't new. They've done much worse.
All I have to say about it is it does not surprise me in the slightest, because it is NASCAR after all.
Yes. And now over to supercars, where there was chaos because Will Brown got the blessing to run the 888 with 888. I'm just saying, when the team is literally called 888, I get that it's a number really associated with a specific driver. But when it's literally the team name, I feel like that's a number that's just gonna kind of stick around.
Right.
Just say.
Yeah. That's just people not liking Will Brown.
Look, I don't like Will Brown. I think he is a very dirty driver. Look at last season and you'll probably agree with me. Just saying. He drove pretty much everyone off the track. But it's literally the team name. So I can't have an issue with him having the number.
No, it makes sense, and he has the blessing of.
I mean, when the previous guy is literally named Craig Lowndes and is kind of a supercars legend, and he's saying, yeah, fine, you can use this number. People still somehow find an issue with it. Obviously, if, like Paul said, if you have an issue because it's Will Brown, then fine, but it's understandable you don't like the driver. But still, when the guy who was synonymous with the numbers tells someone else, sure, you can run my number, quote unquote, my number.
Yeah.
It was his decision. You don't have a say in it. Just deal with it.
I see it very similar to in hockey because numbers get retired in hockey, and through like a guy's junior career, they'll kind of become established with a number, and sometimes that number is retired from their team. Sometimes the guys who had those numbers retired will be like, "You can wear the number. I'm giving you a blessing, despite the fact it's retired. That like you can wear it." I see it as a very similar situation to that. You get the blessing to wear it, drive it, whatever it is in the specific situation. That's all you need. And then another kind of big discussion in the supercars world was Alice Buckley is moving up to Super 2. And really, the more so big discussion around her getting this is if she then goes and moves up again to then supercars, she'd be the first Australian woman to do so full time if she got that full time move up. So it's cool to see the backing of a driver, which she got backing from the series to be able to get this drive. It's also through like her family team too, but getting backing from the series to help her get this opportunity really shows how much they kind of want to get that woman into supercars, which I think is really nice to see.
Has she been like competitive? I assume so. If she like Super 2 is incredibly competitive, so if she's racing in Super 2, I assume she's good.
Yeah, she's been doing pretty decent in like the series that she's been in, so I think this is like a really logical step to me for her.
Awesome.
And it's just really cool to see that like there's always that discussion around like family backing of a driver for like things, but like the fact is series is also behind
I don't
you.
even care about that as much as like, is this one of those forcing a woman into a spot she shouldn't be in because she's a woman?
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of those situations where it's like, you're good and we want to like help you get an opportunity.
Awesome.
So I'm very excited to like watch Super 2 to see how she does. So
yeah, it kind of shows how kind of ignorant I am when it comes to previous supercars full season grids, because I thought another woman that raced there who goes by the name of Renee Grassi, you might have heard of her. She was sort of on the grid in the late 2010s.
yes.
I thought she had been the first full-time woman to race in the top division, but no, she was also in Super 2, so whoopsie.
Yeah, she was Super 2, and then she did like Bathurst 1000 a few times.
Yeah.
But never like actually was a supercars full-time driver. So hopefully Alice can be that person to make that jump.
Yep. It's gonna
Definitely
be fun. Also,
yes.
I love the fact that we started in Australia and we're ending in Australia, so we are upside down tonight.
Yes.
It wouldn't be an episode that I'm doing the intro and outro for if it didn't somehow start with Australia and end with Australia. Very me. With that, thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Orange Flag Pod. Nicole is at Nicole on Racing. Austin is at Austin Trackside, and Aries is at Aries_Alpenglow.
Stay orange.